to you, my fellow Nigerians. Good morning to the whole Africa. Good morning to the whole world. Welcome to another episode of Kene Africa, and I will be your host by name, Okonkwo Kenechukwu Callistus. And today's episode of Kene Africa is titled Self-Control. What is self-control? Self-control simply means the ability to control oneself, one's emotions and desires, especially during difficult and trying times. There is this African proverb I love so much, and it states, roam in the world as a lion of self-control and see that the frogs of weakness don't kick you around. It is also in synchronym to what Eleanor Roosevelt says. She says, to handle yourself, we need to use our head. But to handle others, we need to use our heart. If we cannot control ourselves, there's nothing that can ever be done to us that will make sense, because we always want to act. We always want to react to every situation. For everything that happens in your life, before you act, try to count 5 to 10 in your mind slowly. And after that, see whether you're going to still act. But you see yourself that you are being relaxed. You are in a calm state. And in that part in time of your life, you would see yourself acting rightly rather than acting sheepishly or foolishly. A married man who does not have self-control cannot control his urges. You see some people drinking from beer parlor to beer parlor every day of their life. It is not because every other person doesn't have the zeal or everyone does not have the urge to drink too, but because they lack self-control. A reasonable person would control himself, take dominion of himself, and you see himself checkmating things in order not to be too loosed. A woman too, in a house or in her husband's house, if she has the ability to control herself, you see herself taking charge or taking dominion over her family. But someone who does not have self-control, who lacks self-control, would be seen talking flippantly, talking here and there. And it brings me to this Sierra Leonean proverb which says that quarrels end, but words once spoken never dies. You see a woman, she talks loosed, blah, 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 but if she has self-control, she'll be able to curtail that situation. I'm going to share you an incident that happened in 2019, November, at Onitsha. There is this woman that everyone knows that talks too much. She talks too flippant. That unfaithful day, she was seen arguing in the bus. And when she came down, when she alighted from the vehicle, she was heading home. And that was around past 7 p.m. As she was alighting, as she was going home rather, she met this guy who was armed with a gun. And then he covered himself. His face was masked. And then he demanded for her purse. The woman gave him the purse. But on giving him the purse, her hand mistakenly removed part of his mask. And then she saw part of his face. And then she shouted, Emeka. So you don't need thief. So to the extent, so you go even teach thief person where you know. The guy was now trying to pretend like he was not the one. She said, Emeka, I know you. No, be you, me and your mama did the same CW meeting and the rest of that. Instantly, the guy knew that yes, he's been caught. So he didn't even waste time. He brought out the gun and shot her dead. And that was how she lost her life. That is one good example of one who lacks discipline and cannot curtail herself. I wish she knows how to curtail and caution herself. She would have dominion over herself and keep quiet in order to save her life. That is one who talks too much. Also, if you have self-control, you can be able to control and take charge of your body. An African proverb will say that silence is also speech. You being silent doesn't mean that, yes, you are letting go of things, but you are controlling yourself. Also, a promiscuous or a lascivious person will have sex different occasion unless she's having the spirit of nymphomaniac. But if she's not having the spirit of nymphomaniac in her and she's always having sex here and there for no reason, it is because she lacks self-control and she's not disciplined. But if she's disciplined in herself, she will be able to control herself, to control her urges, to take charge of her body. So I urge you all to control yourself and to take charge of your body. I would wrap up this talk on self-control with the gospel verse which says, and I quote, Proverbs chapter 25 verse 27 to 28. It says, a city or a man without self-control is like a city broken into or left without a city wall. Therefore, let us have self-control, because it's in self-control that we take dominion of our body. Stay tuned for the next episode of Kene Africa. Till then, have a lovely day.